con il cuore in gola. E il mondo in una giostra di colori. E il vento accarezza le bandiere. Arriva un brivido e ti trascina via. E sogni in un abbraccio la follia. Notti magiche, inseguendo sotto il cielo di un'estate
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to Sports Bonanza on your daily station, Cam1 Radio Television. In this edition of the program, we shall be talking about the Limbe City Interquarters Football Tournament that is currently going on at the Limbe Community Field as the various quarters are there to showcase their talents. We shall also be talking about the Littoral Mini polls as the quarterfinalists or the semi-finalists have been known after quarterfinals results. Fekafoot versus Minsel. Has Mark Bryce resigned or not? We are going to know much about this saga in this edition of the program. From the communique from the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, Dr. Professor Narcis Kombi. Nigeria are once again champions of the African continental category for the 10th time after they saw off Morocco, coming from 2 goals down to beat Morocco by 3 goals to 2. England are once again champions of the UEFA European Women's Championship after they saw defending champion Spain after post-match penalties. We shall also talk about the passing away of a legend in wrestling, that is Hogan. Hogan has died at the age of 71. I'm a presenter, Cantu Ayamba, for this station of the program. Don't you go away. We shall be right back.
Accarezza le bandiere, arriva un brivido e ti trascina via.
Welcome back and to Sports Bonanza Television. Before we move on and talk about the various issues that we are going to celebrate in this edition of the program, let's introduce our panelists in today's edition of the program. By my right-hand side, we have a sports analyst of Cam1 Radio Television, Ayuk Rene, popularly known as Ayuk Eto. He is a favorite supporter of Manchester City Football Club. Good evening, Ayuk Eto, and welcome to you.
Yeah, good evening, I can't. You are here.
Yes.
So many activities in this period.
Well, also joining us in today's edition of the program is one of our panelists, also an analyst of Cam1 Radio and Television. He joins us in today's edition, Franklin Basso. He has been the communication officer for Jamestown Football Club of Luxor. That's the quarter where he hails from, and he has been trumpeting the music of Jamestown. This time, the last time around, Jamestown came to the interquarters. They didn't conquer. This time around, Jamestown, we hope that they will come, they will see, and they will conquer. Good evening, Pastor Manuel. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Akka, and to Ayuk Rene. It's an honor to be back to be here to give my input on sport. And of course, to the viewers of Cam1 TV, I say good evening to all of you out there.
Well, there's a charity begins at home, and let's begin by talking about the Limbe City Interquarters Football. And there were various results that were recorded throughout the competition. But before we get to the various results that were recorded throughout the competition, let's get to your various quarters. With Basso, we have Jamestown FC of Luxor. We have Botapo FC. And Botapo FC, well, let's begin with Basso. Basso, how prepared are Jamestown this season? They lost their first encounter and bounced back to win 2 successful games this time around. The next game is going to be against
against the Mukunda FC.
Mukunda FC. That's a very stubborn opponent, popularly known as Jamestown. And what can you tell us about Jamestown?
Yeah, Jamestown is a social club, and Jamestown, these are young guys who thought it wise to come to take the lump sum forward. Lump sum was noted for being the pushover, but Jamestown came in to project lump sum as a powerhouse in football. We have just two main goals. One, to keep Limbe entertained through good football, and secondly, to grab the trophy, which is our main goal this season. Last year we came so close, but we knocked out at the quarterfinals. So this year we are much prepared. We have put everything at our disposal. The players are there, the coaches are there. Jamestown have a sporting director who scouts for players, and I think there's a serene atmosphere to keep Jamestown afloat in the next encounter, a do or die encounter, to beef up our chance of going through the second stage of
And the
competition.
management of Jamestown, has it been very, very perfect so far from the first game that you lost? Now, is there some stability in the team?
Yeah, certainly the first game we played, we didn't have all our key players because the players some of them are out of town. We lost to a very stubborn Middle Farms FC. But we came out powerfully and won the two other games. And Jamestown have scored 5 goals, conceding just 2. I think we have a very, very good attack line. So I think we are much prepared. Much prepared. Jamestown is the most organized club because we have a president, a treasurer, a sporting director, a certified nurse. Certified nurse, I must be precise, who takes care of the players. And I think we are much more organized. And I think this year the sky will be our limit. We'll say Jamestown for the trophy.
Well, we have so many fans of Jamestown all around the city of Limbe, and it seems as if we are outnumbered here because Monsieur Kameni Isaac also happens to be a supporter of Jamestown FC of Lomsom, and they are throwing all haymakers and throwing away behind Jamestown FC of Lomsom.
Yeah, certainly Jamestown, like I said, is a social club, means that it's open to everybody can belong to Jamestown. First of all, it's a social club. And because I myself, I stay in Cassava Farms, but due to the love for the club as a social club, I decided to be part of the Jamestown family. So it's a social club that we don't limit ourselves. People can belong to Jamestown. So we are there just to project lump sum because people thought lump sum was a pushover. So we are there to project lump sum to become a powerhouse in this Limbe vicinity. So it's a much more, like I said, very structured club, Ayok. We have, before the starting of the competition, they have a budget that was voted, and we are working on a budget. So it's a club that is well structured, and I believe that we have attained our goal because we play good football. We have good players from all over the country and beyond. And I bet you, Ayok, come Thursday, Jamestown will produce the best brand of football.
Well, let's get to the other side of you have to cross the River Limbe after the city council, and they will have Buddha for another stubborn opponent, one-time winner of this Limbe City Interquarters football tournament. Ayoketo, you are like one of the media men out there in Botapo. How are Botapo prepared for this season? Interquarters, Limbe City Interquarters football competition.
Yeah, when you talk about Botapo, you talk about a group of individuals who don't stay in the port, but where they are getting economic resources the port. Now, when you talk about Botapo is just like Imperial Kumba. Botapo is just like Tico United. Botapo is just like Cameroon. Or what? When you talk about a team that had, all caliber of persons. Now, when you talk about Botapo, they are the heavyweights in the competition. And they have their way of approaching the tournament. Because they are not new in the tournament. It's an old team that started, right back at the Dossi, moved to the Fancy, moved to now the Limbe City, Dakota. So when you talk about Botapo, it's not a new side, and those who are managing Botapo, are guys who knows how to maneuver football, who knows what it takes for a team who knows what it takes for the team to stay through. Now, about this year, they did start very well. It was difficult. Like the national team of Cameroon. Yes, they always start very slow. Each time they start very slow, you see them going places. And when they start smoothly at the beginning, you see them they always go past the speech. That ball is not a
Not as a quarter, and the powerhouse. Quarter has the point.
Yes, and the powerhouse of you have ships, you have income to the things, you have the immigration, you have the custom that control it. I examples airport. You have you have the transporters. Those guys who transport goods from Lagos to Yaoundé. Yes, it's also important. If the capacity to go on but the headquarters is important. The boat has so many facilities for them to be very morning, for them to bring good players. I will have a pitch about play pitch. You have the carry school you have the PNU, that's SS Club, it's a training pitch there. You also have a carry school boat, it's a training pitch there, and you also have that is also part of them. So if you see, it's a complete quarter. We have everything. So this year, because the tournament is going smoothly, we have played 2 games, and after 2 games, we have some parts. That's the big way. So you have to avoid them. Avoiding them doesn't mean that you are afraid of them, but you know in the competition there's a team that maybe you just avoid them because when you talk about Cameroon, we have fans that can push the central field to give a fight on a good day. And also we talk about Bende also. So we have to make sure that we talk our ball and maybe avoid things like Cameroon or even Bende, because the way I'm looking at this, Bende and Cameroon, one of them, talking about the other one was second. So we have to.
And to win the cup, the Interquarter football competition, you need to be the best. You need to beat the best.
But right now, you will not expect if the draws of the Champions League will come out in September. I will play that to win Paris Saint-Germain. No, I will need to meet the best.
Paris Saint-Germain met Liverpool and Liverpool. The confidence was very, very high.
No, they met Liverpool. Liverpool was coming. They were fourth before that season. They were fourth in the Premier League. They were not last year. The Champions League. Before that. So you expect me to pray to be the early phase of the competition. I will not pray. So there's no way I will pray that I should be Cassava or I should be the best football. If you happen to be okay, we'll play the game.
Okay, let's get to the results of matches that were played today at the Libre competition. We have at 12 noon, Montoro United against Southampton. Victory goes to 0, and then Bonanza versus Victoria Youth of Ambas Bay. That was a very, very interesting game. Ambas Bay, that game that nobody thought that they would do anything in that game against the name of the caliber of Kubo. For their money. Basong,
I happened to watch the game. I think that the my foresight kind of minimize their opponent. In football, you don't look down at your opponent because we all know the my foresight, they have the quality much mature Ambasby had just a youth group that went to play, but I think they gave a good account of themselves, and it was really very impressive.
Well, Ayuk, what can you make about the performance of Ambasby? Even though the goalkeeper was tipped as one of the contenders of Ambasby, was one of the contenders for man of the match. But at the end of the day, the goalkeeper himself fumbled and gave a goal to Bonanza, which is scored, and finally he lost the man of the match.
Why you look at that game, I will not totally blame the guys because even before the game, everybody like let us say 95.
It's going to be 4-0, 5-0.
Everybody was giving handicap play, handicap this, handicap, and all the lights. Imagine if this game was in a
betting platform.
Everybody would cry like what happened with Chelsea and Manchester United because everybody came for not just one goal, but with multiple goals, 3, 4. I mean, people were just like relaxing. At one point in time, I was just sleeping. But when after about 5 or 10 minutes, I saw the guys of Ambasby. I said, "These guys, they have to be bad." So you don't know what said this, but you don't. That's why you see people to have like those together players after the why goal match is right. I mean, when you go back, you go back and you say no. But you look at the last example that early one of them to I mean, it happened that I find that you will not say that he had a friend over 65 minutes and just find
Basong, Bonanza versus Ambasby, wrap up and let's take this.
Certainly, Akai, it was really a tight match. Like Ayuk said, we're expecting a 4-5-0. Looking at the caliber of players, Ambasby is a youth group. I saw some old veteran. I think Roger is an old. He's not a veteran playing, so I didn't expect much from Ambasby. But I think that the age law would have been so good for at least to take home. That the error was so costful. But Akai, before we leave, the first game, Motowo, I think that Motowo came and. Thanks to the head coach with a household name, Epenjumbe Abolo, I think he has transformed Motowo to a winning side because the first coach resigned and they have to hire a household name, which is also a physical trainer. So I think he has transformed Motowo, and the 1-2-0 today was a good score for them.
Let's take this break and we'll come back. We shall be talking about the third game encounter of today's Liberty City Interquarters Football Tournament, Middle Farms FC versus Man Boys. Let's take this break and we shall be back.
Forse non sarà una canzone a cambiare le regole del gioco, ma voglio vivere così questa avventura, senza frontiere, con il cuore.
Welcome back to Sports Bonanza, Cam1 Radio and Television, and let's talk about the third game of the Liberty City Interquarters Football Tournament, and that game was between Middle Farms FC versus Manu Homeboys. Manu Homeboys were the table toppers of that pool, and Middle Farms FC against Jamestown FC.
Yeah, in the first day of play.
They split up two next games consecutively, and they had to win this game by, of course. And really in the first 10 minutes of the game, then they equalize in this.
Yeah, Aka, it was a must-win game for Major Farms FC. Major Farms, even though Ayok talked about Bota, but I think that Major Farm is the bedrock for football in Limbe. You cannot talk about football without Major Farms any day, anytime. They began very powerfully. When I saw this team, I was like, they are the title. They will go for the title. I saw a certain Ngu Maxwell. I said, wow, but I don't know. They fell short of glory in the last two games, and they only bounced back today in a very crucial encounter, which I think they would have won. But in football, you can never say never until the game is over. So it was really, really a tight one, and I think their chances are really now on a knife edge. So it was really, really a disappointing one. Their draw, I think, favors more of Man U than Major Farms. Well, Homeboys, Ayok, I don't know, last year, Homeboys, they were so flamboyant, they came with a lot of noise, but they were knocked out so early. This year, they came very timidly and are moving stronger because there is little or no pressure and are moving stronger. So I think Homeboys is a team to watch. I bet you they will sprang the surprise this time around. Kudos to the coach, Donna, who is doing a great job for this team.
Ayuk, you watched that game, Man U Boys versus Midlands FC. You saw the penalty ambience that was in that game. Now, with this team, as I said, we'll be passing away of their charismatic president, who was the best president of the city Interquarters football tournament last season. This year is no more. May his soul rest in peace. That ambience is very, very strongly. Do you think the team of this year can match the performances of last year?
No, I can't look at the Man United last season and then look at Man United. Last season there was too much ambience and the money was the best. Then they had players, but what killed Man United last season was that they were just buying. Like someone was called a happy player in Wala, but they don't really. You buy players based on their position. You don't buy players because you are expecting because you don't buy. No, buy players based on. So it's like you have less for last season, and really cost you last season. That's why we see that you do that season. And as much for love is I always enjoy it. I was like, oh, I said, I'm this rich. People like, Colombians. Yeah, so let's see what they are going. They really have something in mind because people cannot play at that competition. Really, I'm traveling and doing the way they are doing. That they will before they know what is competition. They have already qualified. What they are trying to do now just to make sure that they submit the first position so they can avoid this opponent in the next poll. Now, wherever the game was today, they really, I think, was very well and powerful. This is a kind of game, this is a kind of what I was expecting to come out when they play against the Mukunda. But it's like the guys of Mukunda thinking, okay, and those the young guys from the school. What you get against Joy Street, the young guys from the football. Nice year opponent. That is what I love about Man United. Everything is very simple. Slowly and it's like they surely reach that foundation. It's like the spirit right up, because the way they are playing, the players, even though all of them will not last, his team. So it's like he has already informed the more that day. We are not playing this year for money. We are playing to somebody that gives his life for this team. So I really enjoy it. The appearance is not there. But I know they are already qualified. I know during the final, I'm sure and I believe the money kids, they will be there.
I think I'll agree with Ayok. because that's their money. Just buying. But this goes to the coaches. If you are a great guy like Jonah is an experienced player and is a great guy, you don't just receive players from your president that buy this. You have to stamp your authority that no, president, I need this, And we saw some years ago there was a team in Newtown called Westic Boca of Motomi Street. They were just buying Ayok Vidal, this guy Ngalame trophies, and they were just buying, but they were crashed out. And also, I don't know if it's a tradition. No team have ever won interquarter coming for the first time. In there. So I think Man U have tendency that they must grow before they can meet all the big boys in there.
Okay.
No, I look never happen with me, but I think they are still a baby side. They must grow.
No, you're right.
Become the bigger boys in Limbe.
Well, that was it for the Limbe City Interquarters football tournament, and after that top game, Cassava Farms versus Bay Day Vipers. Well, before we get to the top game, the reaction of the city mayor for the Limbe City Council, let's just get the classification table of matches after day 3. And we have in Pool A, we have first Bay Vipers with 7 points, Cassava Farms with 5 points, Monjimbo Quarters with 4 points, 4 points for Mao, and we have Boliwe with 3 points, and Church Street with 1 point. Pool B, we have Bonanza with 6 points, Makoka with 4 points, Botapo with 4 points, we have Cold Sauce with 2 points, Motowa has 1 point, and Ambas Bay has 1 point. Pool C, we have My Own Boys with 7 points, with the draw of today takes them to 8 points. We have Lomsom with 6 points. We have Mokunda with 6 points. 4 points for Caterpillar Field. Minifans have 3 points. And then we have Samco Quarters that has 0 points. Pool D, Lower Busumbu, they are the top team in that pool with 6 points. Choke City with 5 points. Guardian Strikers with 5 points. 4 points for Class Quarters. And we have 2 points for Mabeta, and Kejom has 1 point. So that's the classification table after the 3 matches of the Limbe City Interquarters football tournament. And after the top game, one of the top games or the launching of that competition, we had the reaction of the city mayor for Limbe Port Efomengale.
Population and the turnout of this particular tournament. You know, this tournament, the fresh edition 4. This tournament, as you all say, that is the best tournament and the most crowd-pulling tournament in Central and West Africa. Yes, I can say that, and I can accept it because the turnout of this population in Limbe, I want to really appreciate, and I want to think that with the theme of this year, many people have come out because the theme of this year is President Small Bia's social policy. And you know, if you want to inaugurate the social policy of His Excellency President Bobia, you will see that at the end of the day, it's going to be very, very broad. It have to do with living together, social cohesion, equity, and so on, and you can name all the rest. And for all what he has been doing for peace, stability, and you can see that the young people have come out together to practice the peace that we enjoy in Limbe, to showcase the peace that we showcase in Limbe, the living together that we enjoy in Limbe, the social cohesion that we enjoy in Limbe, with the multiple teams which are above 24. You bear with me that the quarters are heavily represented. This is another love that the population of Limbe they are showing to me to adhere to my call for this particular tournament. And this is just the beginning. As you know, this particular tournament has grown from strength to strength. As last year was different amount from 2.250. This year I have decided to take it to 2.5 million francs CFA for the first, the winner of this tournament, Fresh Edition 4. I want to thank all the stakeholders who have contributed very immensely for the success of this tournament. tournament that is ongoing. I want to thank the Fort Lake State journalists, the media people who have showcased their professionalism for this particular tournament, who have sold the tournament as it's supposed to be. And I want to call on all the population, those who are still home, to come and enjoy this particular season, to come and enjoy the holidays, because you know this is also another aspect to keep the young people this particular period to be busy. And you know, an idle mind is an idle workshop. So all of this is a package that has been given to the population of Limbe. As you know, first of all, the Limbe is a sport-loving population, but because of the goodness of the Itaquata, the goodness of the people who want to pay me back in return, they have come out. And so I want to wish all of them, to encourage them to continue playing. I also want to wish them fair play to all the teams that have come to compete within this group.
Monsieur le maire, tout Limbe est mobilisé ici. Et vous...
Il mondo in una giostra di colori, e il vento accarezza le bandiere, arriva un brivido
Bonanza on Cam1 Radio Television. Let's move apart from the Interquarters, Limbe City Interquarters football tournament. You heard it all from the city mayor of the Limbe City Council. Let's move on to the Cameroon national team. But before we get to the Cameroon national team, let's just give our televiewers some of the results of the littoral regional mini interpols, because we have quarterfinal matches that were played, and we have Titanic 1, African Foot 0. We have Olympique de Tibombari 3, Oryx of Douala 2 after post-match penalties. We have International Sporting Club 1, Galactic 0. And we also have Caiman of Douala 1, Babenga 1, and Babenga 1 after post-match penalties. So we have the teams that have qualified for the semi-finals. We have Titanic FC, Olympique de Tibombari, International Sporting Club, and Babenga FC. Those are the teams that will play in the semi-finals of the Littoral Football Championship. Let's get to the saga between the Ministry of Sports and FECAFOOT concerning the purported resignation of Mark Bryce. A letter came out stating that it was Mark Bryce that has written to the Minister of Sports and Physical Education that he has stepped down his post as head coach of the Indomitable Lions after he's been owed 2 months arrears salaries. And then FECAFOOT stepped in immediately and reacted that Mark Bryce has coming out with a communique that Mark Bryce has resigned without getting a confirmation from the employers of Mark Bryce, that is the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education. And later on, then 2 days after, we got a letter from Mark Bryce debunking the information that he is not the one who had written that letter, that he had never written to any letter of such magnitude that he has resigned as the head coach of the Indomitable Lions. And he says, even if he had resigned, then and the Federation had seen such a letter, they should have contacted him to ask if at all, to verify if at all the information is true or not. But the Federation never did so, and went on to publish a communique stating that Mark Bryce has resigned, not even waiting for an official communique from the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education, who employed Mark Bryce. So later on, the Minister of Sports and Physical Education came out to clarify this situation, saying that The Minister of Sports, Professor Massim Molefom, in a letter addressed to the President of the Cameroon State, that McBryce has not resigned and remains the head coach of the Indomitable Lions. He clarifies that the Belgian coach is not behind the alleged resignation and cannot be satisfied with a document of which has no knowledge of origin and whose authenticity can be contested by the person concerned. He adds that the two parties authorized to make decisions regarding the termination of contract or the resignation of the head coach in the case are legally the two signatories, namely the state represented by the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education and McBryce. Here does record that Fecafoot is not a signatory to the contract and therefore cannot pronounce on its termination. The Minister of Sports emphasizes that in essence that McBryce has no salary arrears and in the time of the alleged resignation and therefore no valid reason to resign. He expresses his incomprehension at Fecafoot's eagerness to want to sack the coach, who is nevertheless producing positive results. This is all the more so since this is not the first attempt. He indicates that a contrary decision by Fecafoot will lead to legal and financial consequences that the government is not prepared to bear. Thus, the minister said, thus, I strongly invite you not to fall back into the errors which in the very recent past caused the state to lose enormous sum of 1.2 billion francs. It has not escaped you that in the context of scarce financial resources or even budgetary austerity, the Presidency of the Republic has instructed the minister to take all useful measures to guard against such highly prejudicial inconveniences to the public treasury. This one is written by the head coach of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Now, so if you look at this saga coming up, we know, yes, even in our private day lives, our emails, our WhatsApp are being hacked by one time or another. People use it also to extort money from other people, call your relative. That's all we seek, and you send money, meanwhile your account has been hacked. These things do happen. But I was proposed to say that McBryce had resigned by the man himself, McBryce. So why does the Federation move ahead to go out with such from the employer?
I see. I think image abroad because at resign where they themselves don't even they were not there when you signed the contract. I think if McBryce resigned, like the minister said, take a media communicate. So I think I see in that subsequent the salaries arrears and letter came on the 21st. I don't know who is fooling who. Then I the Korea 2,300 a mail from Belgium. You send a mail. No, if I'm wrong. So I more as a drama, a distraction of the ministry. But I did. I think they are just playing a ping pong.
About this issue, McBryce, let's be frank, has never been for from when he came because he was employed by the food that he had when he came to the food with the family too. It was not really good, and later on he had to apologize. But still, I think behind because the food also prohibited his assistant from sitting behind him to enable him work smoothly the ranks of the Indomitable Lions. But this time around, why go and heavily on something that it has not been officially communicated by or not been contacted the person in question?
That is about it. Because first of all, according to the letter, and that money was paid on it. According to the letter.
No, according to the letter, it didn't state that he had been paid. The letter states that he was owed 2 months' salary as you said.
Yes. 2 months. And they have paid him.
The letter was on the 21st. And it stated that
They have
we're talking about the letter of Margaret, right? He indicated that he's been owed 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months. And because he said
That he's been paid.
he said his email was hacked.
That one is 21st. That was the letter. 23rd. That's after.
Yes.
Letter of Margaret himself. Yes.
That the email was
Yes.
now because
He doesn't recognize who wrote that letter.
yes, he doesn't recognize who wrote that letter, but he recognized that the ministry is owing him 2 months.
No, he never said so.
I'm talking about the letter. They said that 2 months. They are not paid.
Let's just go chronologically. Letter dated 18th.
Yes.
Yeah. Purported that Margaret wrote
Yes.
that he'd been owed 2
2
months.
2 months.
Yes.
Yes. And then another letter comes out
On the 21st.
on the 23rd. On the 23rd,
Yeah.
saying that he is not who wrote that letter. Or Arias statement. On the 23rd.
He's not aware.
Yes.
He did not send any
Letter of that such. Yes. No, to whether to take put all to the ministry, to the minister of such. Just go on.
But the minister claimed that they are
Yes, of course.
paid. That was the question.
Yeah, that's not the problem. Why
Now the minister claims that he and the purported letter stating that he had resigned is on the 21st.
It means that
So
on the 18th,
how comes that
paid. That's the problem.
it's a game? We have seen every year in league. Updating documents. Cameroon.
we need to just focus on the sequence of events, the way it happened.
This one playing.
The first came saying that has resigned. I resigned because I'm 2 months. 23rd, 2 days after, another letter came. The letter that came out that I am not the one who wrote this letter. I don't have any arrears payments of that such. And even if I had resigned, contacted me to ask me, you actually resigned? Employers not to employ me if I have resigned, because even my employers have not indicated that I have resigned. One, if somebody resigns, working with Cam1 TV, yes, to Cam1 TV. Cam1 TV has to accept my resignation and come out with an official communique that yes, they have accepted my resignation and resignation plan. Yes. The employer has to first of all accept it. You can resign. Somebody said, I'm not accepting your resignation.
Of course. This one. That is about it. Now, this man was being we have Coach Len, we have Because you have to and the two there's a ministry and now he's a coach. There's a place that he will listen to the ministry and he will listen to FIFA. And document to FIFA if the players, okay, for example, once you are for him to send the list of players to September. If he said my trainer will do that, about how can a head coach this and you have to now send the list to you? They are playing games. That's playing games. The coach is complaining about that. You have a serious problem. I was thinking that they say yes. And I was expecting that he will use the experience. And see the way so this document issue is for adults. We are discussing based on facts. Based on facts, you are when we are debating, we are debating on documentation. Our personal sentiments. We are quoting because there are people listening to us out there. I know. Now we have to quote based on the documents. Babu said this one was high. And Fikaku said this is what Babu said to us. Then Messi said we are not receiving any letter from the person we employed. So that's why I said they are playing games. And that's why I can never all these their documents or whatever they are saying serious. What I want to see is action on ground. They should produce us a result. Magnus, as a coach, as a head coach, call their Singapore to submit your squad list. Submit it. Don't be telling us that the situation will do that. You are employed, they are paying you. And you are saying you are to come out. Yeah, that's never happened. How can you follow football? You manage football. There's no way. Guardiola will be there, Man City and maybe the owner will ask him to maybe send a list for players. Maybe they want to do something for the player. Then he will send maybe call to play. When Guardiola is being employed at Man City, he comes with his team, yes or no? Yes. And that team is being paid by him. Yes. From his salary. Yeah, but that Cameroon is different. When Mark Bress came, he came with his team. Yes. He has his physical trainer. He has his assistant coach. He has his video analyst. All those are under the. But according to the convention, according to the document, so we talk on document. Yes, of course. The convention, the document, the contract signed by Mark Bress, he has his team that he came with. Who? Aka? You said we talk about the document. Yes. Now, the office is doing what is right. Yes. Because if the convention states that either Fekafoot or the state could have found out if the state Fekafoot appoint this. No. That one came as a consensus. It is not. It is so not. Why is it? It is not. Why is it? We don't know. You don't know. The fact is that the government is the main financier and the federation is cash strapped. If the government pulls out its finances, where does the federation get them out? They not send out. They don't send the documents or forward every list or whatever forward. It means the government cannot. They have to do because they collect money from the government. Okay. That
that is one thing. Probably, I think that is one thing that had been. I think with Samuel Eto'o coming in as a head president, he should have moved away from this alliance with the government.
Certainly,
It's not difficult. It used to be like that with Iya Mohammed. Pekafut was independent. Pekafut was in the coach.
No.
I'm telling you.
I can't say no.
We should be facts.
Yes.
Iya Mohammed, during the time of Pekafut, Pekafut was the one paying the coach.
And who was
That is why there was no convention at that time. It was when Iya Mohammed left. Professor Joseph Owona was the one who signed that convention with the government because the federation by that time had no money.
So I want to tell you.
But Iya Mohammed was running Pekafut independently without government intervention.
Without any
yes,
from the government.
Of course. Iya Mohammed left Pekafut with a surplus of 5.something billion. Those are the facts. That is why, at the end of the day, when there was no money at Pekafut, they couldn't find where to get money. They had to surrender their powers because the government told them, if we have to give you this, you have to give. It's a matter of give and take. If we have to give you this, you have to surrender your power. That is when they surrender their power. It's as somewhere it was football. They look for sponsorship. Cameroon good money money, and the federation will be rich. Now, why can't he use that as influence? When he came and knew that this is what the federation had been entangled, why didn't he use his influence? Get that independence. He went and was still collecting the same money from the government.
Because Eto'o would have used his influence solve this issue because
I'm really sure because how
does not even know the term of the coach.
Contract.
It's really what that they don't even know the terms of.
there's no
what is happening
Wait.
just can you just tell me what nobody will come and tell you that you have to do this. No, will not come and tell you that you have to do this. You will not tell you that you have to do this. You go and ask for money from the government, then they will give you conditions. That is what we find ourselves today. And that's where I blame Samuel Eto'o. Because he could have taken the federation out of deep shit that the federation had to entangle themselves.
Of ego from the Minister of Sport because
they are giving the finance, but at least
okay for the good of football.
Mm-hmm.
Why not come as one body and move on? Why this ego? I think that
The minister is on a high horse.
Let me ask this question. You are dating for a father of the house.
Certainly.
And is it easy for you to do that without having a say?
why is that
For the good of the house. For the good of the house. You just accept everything.
For handball or volleyball.
It is the same for the minister. The minister is in charge. Yes. The minister is in charge of all the 63 federations.
Yes, but why? I mean, 100%.
The same thing has happened in handball. The same thing has happened in volleyball.
What has happened?
The same thing we are finding ourselves in football. That's happened in handball. That's happened in volleyball. Well, they are playing their games. Okay. We need to have the opinion of also another one of our panelists, and who is going to do that in the Macron language, that is the French language, and that is joining us in the studio in a short while. Let's take this break and we shall be back. Welcome back on your Sports 247 on the Dalek Station Cam1 Radio Television. I'm being joined by he's the lost but found, and he has been one of our strongest finalists in the studio here with Cam1 TV. Cam1 Isaac, he used to do it in the French language, or they call it the Macron language. Bonsoir et bienvenue sur Sport Bonanza.
Bonsoir à tous les visiteurs de Cam1. C'est un plaisir pour moi d'être ici. Et ils vont m'excuser parce que, franchement, c'est pas facile. Ça laisse double occupation pour être là. Et nous allons impliquer dans la préparation des différents championnats régionaux de la football. Et nous, on dit donc travail de l'État. Je veux remercier moi-même pour ça.
Well, when you look at the saga Minsep Fekafut, when you look at the saga Minsep Fekafut, what do you make of what is transpiring throughout Cameroon football? Because it's something of a very, very big shame. The coach of the national team, or the world getting letters that the coach has resigned. Later, the coach comes and debunks the information. I don't resign. Goes on giving the public national television interview that he has not resigned. He went to the country, was shocked in the answer, and with all that is transpiring.
Oui,
who is at fault here?
Akatuamba, j'ai suivi avec beaucoup de précautions nos panélistes parler par rapport à ce sujet. Et tout, par exemple, à part du deal. Vraiment, le Cameroun est géré par les différents deals. Parce qu'en réalité, on parle des fédérations. Les fédérations, en temps, elles doivent être indépendantes, comme vous l'avez si bien dit. Le ministère est là seulement pour superviser. Mais au moment où, dans les fédérations, particulièrement dans la fédération Cameroun de football, il y a ce problème de leadership qui a persisté avec les normalisations. Et automatiquement, il doit y avoir un problème. Parce que la finance n'est pas centralisée. Et quand il n'y a pas, vous l'avez si bien dit, il y avait de l'argent. Mais cet argent a été bloqué, je crois bien. On n'a pas touché l'argent il y a encore mémoire, c'est des bonnes mémoires. Donc automatiquement, la fédération, celui qui prend en place, doit se créer un réseau de financement. Je crois qu'Eto l'a fait. Avec les sponsors, le XBet, avec la qualification en Coupe du Monde. Je crois que cet argent est largement suffisant pour gérer avec autonomie sa fédération. Mais vous savez, nous sommes les Camerounais, comme on le dit, je ne vois pas pourquoi le ministre doit s'impliquer dans la gestion du football.
Parce que la fédération...
Il l'a pu superviser, effectivement.
Prendre l'argent.
Effectivement. Toujours, ils ont essayé de sponsoriser le football, les différentes fédérations. C'est pas pourtant qu'il doit prendre en main mise la gestion de la fédération. Donc, ce qui fait que ce coach, que le ministère signe son contrat sans l'aval de la FECAFOOT, pour moi, c'est une erreur. En temps, il y a les deux fédérations, les deux entités doivent se concerter avant d'agir. Donc, c'est-à-dire, à quelque part, comme a dit Eto, il y a le deal. Chacun voudrait gagner un petit franc dans ce contrat. Donc, il y a un problème. Et vous voyez, ce problème se déverse directement dans les réseaux sociaux où les fake informations sortent. Et si nous avons se centrer sur les fake informations, on n'arrivera pas. Donc pour moi, quand cette information est sortie dans les réseaux sociaux, la fédération devait d'abord appeler Marc Brice pour savoir, chercher à authentifier cette lettre avant de s'engager dans les différentes déclarations. Donc là, il y a un problème. Il faudrait qu'on revienne sur terre et que les deux entités puissent encore s'accorder pour pouvoir amener bien les activités de la fédération.
Well, so how can the Indomitable or can the federation come out or have this independence what can be done by the federation to have this independence from government intervention?
Je pense que
Because so long as you go out there to get money from them, because it's surprising that we never even knew that even the league in Cameroon was being, the federation goes and collect money to run the league in Cameroon, of which we know that there is a sponsor, is MTN, there is Tiof, there is 1xBet, those huge corporate sponsors. The clubs are not seeing money, and the government is even pumping hundreds of millions that the federation goes to the extent of collecting that money. How do they get their independence when they still go out there and collect this money from the government?
Je pense que l'État doit intervenir par rapport à ces divergences d'opinion et essayer à ce que les deux entités puissent peut-être s'asseoir autour d'une même table et arranger leurs problèmes. Tant qu'on ne le fait pas, ce problème va persister et ne finira jamais à Cam1.
So we are not talking about, because the government already, they have their money, and when they give money, they have their say. But how can the federation move away, have that independence from government, or stop collecting money from the government and become independent?
Non, c'est pour ça qu'il faut qu'ils s'asseyent sur la table. Ils doivent s'asseoir.
With who?
Avec le ministre, ils doivent s'entendre. Ils doivent s'entendre. Parce que l'audit, en quelque sorte, je veux dire, il faut auditer alors. Il faut auditer. Parce qu'il y a eu des entrées à la fédération, si j'ai bonne mémoire. Il faut auditer où pardon cet argent. C'est la question qu'on se pose. Donc il faut auditer dans la fédération avant d'intervenir pour avancer quoi que ce soit comme un franc dans les caisses de la fédération. Ça, c'est mon point de vue.
Who comprise the federation? It's the clubs.
C'est les équipes.
Yes. And if the clubs are not being heard by the federation, or there is no transparency by the federation to the clubs, because the federation doesn't owe any transparency to the government.
Mais la fédération s'accroche sur certains points à
Cam1.
Et bien vrai, la fédération est gérée par les équipes, c'est les représentants des fédérations. Mais il y a eu trop de promesses au niveau de l'Africa Foot qui ne sont pas réalisées. Ce qui fait qu'à quelque part, les équipes qui est supposées être les membres de la fédération sont détachées. Vous voyez, il y a des équipes qui ont démissionné avant la fin de la saison. Donc, il faudra en quelque sorte peut-être que la FIFA encore essaie de normaliser la fédération camerounaise de football. Ça, c'est mon point de vue. Oui, bien sûr, parce que rien ne marche. Rien ne marche.
Do you go in for the suggestion of Mr. Kamini? Is that for another normalization again? It never happened. Yes. Do you support another normalization?
No, I don't support. Go at the end, they will still bring the who. They will still want to pick these government officials, these liars, go and put the, and cause more problem. They will go and sign another convention again.
So, who now can be the right person to do the job? Because we have given, Cameroon has given the mantle to an ex-footballer, that is Samuel Eto'o. The clubs are crying. Sponsorship from MTN, they want to see what is there. They don't even know. They don't even receive.
I catch you.
They want to know.
I catch you, Amba.
Sponsorship needs to be given to clubs. They have not received.
Why we are blaming Federal Foot? Don't you think that we should also...
So who is telling the truth?
We should also blame MTN. Because the MTN is here for their business. They are not here for Federal Foot or for football. But they are just promoting football.
Yeah, that's the business.
So if MTN is here for football, and if MTN is...
MTN is sponsoring business, football is business.
Yes, if they are open, then they are hearing all this cry from the clubs. Some of the clubs that are crying that we are not seeing anything. Since we are putting on your logo, we are not seeing anything. If MTN in Cameroon, if they were serious and fair enough, could have come out, or maybe they would have called the FA and said, no, this now you are doing, or is going on, is spoiling our business, and we are not making what we're supposed to make out of what we initial plan. Now, MTN is supposed to call Fecafoot for a dialogue and a talk. If Fecafoot does not want to abide with them, then fine, we can back off. Then I've been telling people, if things are not going, you must not stay there and kill yourself. Back off. If you're a club president and things are not going, yes, no, that one back off. Yeah, back off, but some of them also don't. They will investigate him also.
How about young sport academy?
No, leave young sport. The first thing you call Mr. Feche. Some of them will investigate them because I'm also trying to, I'm still doing that. If we investigate them very well also, some of them need to go and join the
so,
that moment.
yeah. Young Sport Academy
So-
and part of.
No, so why you had all this in Accra? Like you said, you're not happy with the situation because you are right. Because I myself, all of us were expecting so much from somewhere to face. That's why you say people are really happy with this.
Why? Because I will see a league like Premier League in
And they live in Tanzania.
Oh,
The Tanzania in Cameroon, expecting so much. They have been signing deals based on recent. I don't know if the recent deal is how the Ballon d'Or, the Ballon d'Or winner, to cash prize, I think, which is good. That's how we push players to
The last one, the Ballon d'Or winner was supposed to have a Mercedes car, and that winner was Emmanuel Macron.
No, I know what happened.
Oh, where that car has disappeared to.
And I can't
Immediately
know
after the Ballon d'Or.
a lot of things is going on, which sometimes it's difficult to point it out. But
Emmanuel always play with Kasama Banks FC.
but the only thing that I will stand and defend is that come next football season, if maybe the first 2 months or 3 months that things will be going in for the competition, if I don't see what I want to see, then me myself, I think I will never even talk about it.
There's no way. That is what
They must give you
On our
money.
jersey, like I want to give them.
Mais je pense que c'est ce que le président d'Africa a fait. Au départ, quand il prenait le pouvoir, il y a eu des différentes réunions où il a fait appel aux différents partenaires économiques. Il a siégé. Donc, en temps réel, ce que vous avez dit par rapport à James Stock, ça c'est une bonne idée qui s'est faite à la base. Où en temps réel, les équipes du premier division et Ligue régionale doivent profiter. Vous comprenez, le sponsoring est important. On ne doit pas attendre toujours que c'est le sponsoring de la Fédération camerounaise qui vient en assise aux équipes de Ligue régionale et consorts. Mais cependant, du VSD dans la fédération doit savoir où passe cet argent. Il ne doit pas seulement donner de l'argent à la fédération, alors qu'on sait qu'à quelque part, l'argent peut être généré. Hein? Ça peut être généré, les équipes peuvent générer de l'argent. Parce que quand nous faisons la licence, c'est une source de financement de la part de la fédération. Calculez 5 000 francs par joueur comme licence à établir. Et vous me tuez par le nombre des équipes. Le nombre des équipes. Vous voyez combien d'argent les équipes qui demandent que la fédération vienne en aide souffrent. Mais on veut qu'ils payent le salaire des joueurs, le salaire des joueurs. Mais cependant, ils ont payé les licences, ils ont payé tout, ils sont enregistrés. Et essayez de les aider pour qu'ils puissent payer. Vous avez produit 49, 50 millions à votre démarrage du championnat. Mais à un moment donné, si vous ne payez pas, on ne donne pas. Allez regarder ceux qui ont payé avant de donner. Ce n'est pas juste. Donc il y a un problème. Quand Eto arrive, on l'a embrassé avec tout cœur. Maintenant, la propriété Eto est divisée en 3, en 4 même. Donc il y a quelque part, il faut s'asseoir et vérifier.
Well, let's take this break and we shall be back. When we come back, we shall just round up with Franklin Bassong. Thank you very much, Kamel Isaac, for accepting the call. Let's take this break and we shall be back. When we come back, we'll talk about the African Women's Championship and the European Championship.
Senza frontiere, con il cuore ancora. E il mondo in una giostra di colori. E il vento accarezza le bandiere. Arriva un brivido e ti trascina via.
Back on Sports 247 on the Daily Station, Cam1 Radio Television, and we are on to Sports Bonanza. And well, let's talk about Nigeria that have once again become African champions for the 10th time. They came from behind, 2 goals down to beat Morocco by 3 goals to 2. What a comeback! They call it La Remontada.
Yeah, Aka, what a comeback, Aka. It was already a nail-biting encounter. I pity the Moroccan because they have an edge in the first segment, but Nigeria came back on the second segment and they were so dominant, and the Moroccans began to defend so deep as early as possible and give away some chances. And kudos to this lady, Esther Okoronko, who was the woman of the match, giving 2 assists and 1 goal. So I think Nigeria, the 10th time, is really something to be great about. After 13 attempts, 10 wins, and I think only Equatorial Guinea and South Africa have won it. So I think Nigeria really gave a good account of themselves.
Let's get the reaction of some Super Falcons players from our correspondent out there in Morocco, Lydian Paco. I spoke with some of the players of Super Falcons.
Okay, congratulations. Okay, what is your impression today for winning all the games since this competition started?
I think we had a good outing. Proud of the girls, and we're really excited because we're back.
Today you're at the final. Will you like to be in the final with Morocco or Ghana?
I was asked this question a couple times, and I'm going to say the same thing. For me, it doesn't really matter. I think we're just going to focus on ourselves as a team and whoever we have. That's who we are.
Okay, good luck for the next. Thank you. With the good performance you have started since this competition started, can you say today that the pressure is down?
No, I think today showed a lot of grit, a lot of fight from us since we had to go down, we conceded a goal, and so that was the first time in the tournament that we faced that, and it was good for our team to face that now before the final and know that we have to keep pushing for the full 90 minutes. It doesn't matter how you win, it just matters that you win, and that kind of showed today with the 90-plus minute goal.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What can we do to improve our mood? Can you rephrase the question? Can you ask the question?
At some point in the team, during the game, the team lost its head, became more emotional, and especially when the penalty happened. How can you improve, especially when it gets to softening your mentality? How can you improve getting into the final?
No, that's why every time we feel something is not working, we'll hold it as a team together, talk about it, and see where we can strengthen what's missing. And we weren't really stressed at all because we know what we can do as a team, and also know South Africa is good. I was more confident in ourselves.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I have a question. Welcome back, and you heard it all from the Super Falcons, and that was a deserved victory by the Super Falcons of Nigeria, Morocco by 3 goals. In the European continent, Women's Championship also took place out there in Switzerland, and it was England versus Spain, a repeat of the World Cup final, where Spain triumphed over England, and this time around it was England. 1-1 it ended. Won, and they won the competition. Well, look,
the act of Rodrigue in the middle and I must call Rodrigue because he's the greatest midfielder in the history of Spanish national team. Yes, in terms of achievement. Yes, he's the greatest. He's the greatest midfielder in terms of achievement. So I must call Rodrigue, and he's a player of Man City, and he's the first Ballon d'Or winner in Man City. So there's no way I'll be talking about Spain without mentioning the name of Rodrigue. And right now he's still a great player. He's the only player who have played, I think, 78 match in a particular in a calendar year. So it's not a
play team. So when you look at that final, I think England deserve it, and Spain also. They play champagne football, you know. When you watch these guys play, then you understand that God has really blessed the Spanish people with football.
Yeah, I would differ with Ayok. Sometimes the great Mourinho said the better side lost. I think Spain was far better than England. From the beginning of the championship, Spain have played champagne football, like Ayok already said, but I think it was disappointing. England, well, it was a streak of luck. Penalty shootout, Spain lost 3 penalty and scored just 1. So I think in terms of quality football, I think the Spaniards were very, very good. But England, well, it was a good day for England.
Well, it was a good day for England, and we ended on a sad note as in the world of wrestling, former world wrestling champion Hulk Hogan, wrestling legend Hulk Hogan, has died at the age of 71. Pastor, when we were still small,
the strongest man in the world. Wow. It's really a big loss to the wrestling family. I grew up, I saw Hogan. Sometimes it was very scary, you know, when you see the way they fought, it was really scary. It was one of the greatest wrestlers in those old good days, even though now we have the John Cena's, Undertakers, and so on. So, but I think Hogan, I think he was greatest of all time.
Every time
TV would not come on that time.
why?
Thank God, 71 is not bad, even though but the Bible makes us go. It's also a good age. All the ups and downs, all the bunches in the ring.
Well, it is here we call it quit in today's edition of the program. I'm being joined by Franklin Basong and Ayok Eto, not forgetting Kamene Isaac, who came and gave us some details about the Cameroon Football Federation in the French language. Stay tuned to all other programs of Cam1 Radio and Television. Until then, tomorrow is another day.